Imagine this. You're staring at your screen, your palms are sweaty, your heart is racing, and every tick of the market feels like a personal attack. One trade goes against you, and suddenly your brain screams, I'm losing control. I'm going to blow up. If you've ever felt that and spiraled in panic as the candlesticks move, you know the brutal reality. Day trading isn't just about charts, entries, or exits. It's about your mind. And if you can't master your mind, the market will break you long before it breaks your account. In this video, we're diving into something most traders ignore: how to day trade without losing your mind. These are not motivational cliches. These are proven, battle-tested methods that separate those who thrive from those who burn out. And if you stay until the very end, I'll give you a framework that has saved countless traders from mental collapse, one you can use the next time you sit at your desk. But before we jump in, if you're serious about mastering trading psychology, not just strategy, not just signals, but the mental game that determines your survival, then hit subscribe to the Trading Psychology Lab, smash that like button, and share this with another trader who needs it, because this is where the market meets the mind. Now, let's start with the truth that nobody wants to admit. Day trading, for most people, is not a financial challenge. It's a psychological war. You might think you're struggling because you don't have the proper setup, our indicator isn't perfect, or you're missing some holy grail entry. But look deeper. How often have you had the appropriate setup and still sabotaged yourself? How often have you been up a few $100s to panic, close too early, and watch the trade go precisely where you expected? Or worse, how many times have you taken one loss and then spent the rest of the day chasing revenge trades, digging yourself into a hole you couldn't climb out of? This isn't about strategy. It's about the human brain under pressure. And science proves it. When you trade, your brain doesn't act rationally. It acts emotionally. Every tick up or down triggers dopamine, fear, greed, and cortisol. Your fight or flight system gets hijacked. And once that happens, you're no longer trading the chart. You're trading your emotions. So how do you stop it? How do you protect your mind before it destroys your account? The first method is what I call mental circuit breakers. Think about it. The stock market has circuit breakers to stop panic selling if an index falls too fast and trading halts. Why? To prevent chaos. But here's the irony. Most traders don't have personal circuit breakers. They sit glued to the screen, taking hit after hit, letting emotions build until they explode. No wonder they burn out. Your job is to install mental circuit breakers. For example, set maximum daily loss limits. If you lose $200, $500, or whatever number fits your risk profile, you stop trading. POU, that's your breaker. The session is done. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't just try one more. You respect the breaker. Schedule breaks before your brain melts. Even if you're green, even if you're in flow, step away after 90 minutes. Studies show our focus declines sharply after that. By forcing yourself to pause, you stop fatigue from morphing into mistakes. Create a pre-trade ritual. Just like athletes warm up, traders need rituals. Deep breaths, reviewing rules, and even writing down your mindset before the open act like a stress breaker against impulsive chaos. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. Because in the heat of the moment, your ego will scream louder than your rules. You'll say, I can make it back. Just one more trade. That's where the second method comes in. Detach from the outcome. This is where most traders fail. They link their self-worth to their P&L. If they win, they feel brilliant. If they lose, they feel worthless. And that roller coaster destroys them. But the best day traders who survive know a secret. Every single trade is just one of thousands. It isn't very sensible by itself. What matters is the process, the execution, the discipline. Think of it like poker. A professional player doesn't freak out over one bad hand. He knows the edge plays out over hundreds of hands. Your trading must be the same. Win or lose, your identity doesn't change. You are not your P&L. You are the executor of a process. One trick that works. After every trade, don't ask, did I win or lose? Ask, did I follow my rules? That question rewires your brain. It shifts the reward system from chasing money to chasing discipline. And once discipline is your dopamine, you win the long game. But there's more. And this is where it gets deep. Detaching from outcomes isn't just a mindset trick. It's a way of rewiring your relationship with the market. And that's where we'll go in the next section. into the psychology of letting go, of trading with peace, and why the ones who embrace uncertainty never lose their minds, while everyone else burns out. Let's go deeper. If you've ever blown up an account, or even just a bad day that spiraled out of control, you know the crushing weight of regret. You sit there staring at the screen, replaying every decision, asking yourself, why did I do that? Why couldn't I stop? Why did I risk more than I planned? It feels like you're powerless against your own impulses. But here's the truth. It's not that you're weak. It's that you haven't trained your brain to deal with uncertainty. Day trading is uncertainty incarnate. Every tick, every candle, every piece of news, it's all unknown. And the human brain hates uncertainty. Studies show that uncertainty activates the same parts of the brain as physical pain. That's why you feel tense and anxious when you don't know what's coming next. It's not just in your head. It's biology. So, how do you operate in a game built entirely on uncertainty without losing your sanity? The answer is counterintuitive. You stop fighting uncertainty. You stop resisting it. You accept it as part of the game. Think about it. A surfer doesn't fight the ocean. He doesn't curse the waves for being unpredictable. He learns to ride them, to flow with their chaos. That's precisely how you must approach the market. The market is not a puzzle to solve. It's a wave to ride. And this is where detachment becomes your greatest weapon. When you detach from the outcome, you stop demanding certainty. You stop needing every trade to work. You stop trying to be right. Instead, you focus on execution, knowing that your edge plays out only over the long run. But let's get practical. How do you train this? One powerful method is what I call the next trade neutralizer. Here's how it works. After every single trade, win or lose, you say to yourself, next. That's it. One word. Next. Why? Because that one word breaks the emotional loop. It neutralizes attachment. You don't celebrate too high, you don't mourn too low. You reset. Every trade becomes just another step in the sequence. This might sound small, but it's transformative. By practicing this discipline, we've seen traders go from emotional wrecks to calm operators. Because it forces your brain to stay present, not stuck in the past or obsessed with the future. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how the best traders seem eerily calm? Almost detached, even when the market is going wild. That's not natural. That's trained. They've rewired their relationship with uncertainty. They've trained their nervous system to stay steady in chaos. And here's another technique to do just that: exposure therapy for uncertainty. Most traders avoid uncertainty. They crave confirmation, signals, indicators that tell them, yes, this is safe. But that craving is what traps them. Instead, you must expose yourself to uncertainty in controlled doses. For example, intentionally take small, tiny risk trades where the outcome is entirely random. Not to make money, but to train your nervous system to sit in uncertainty without reacting. Journal how you feel when price moves against you. Not the P&L, but the sensations, the heart rate, the tight chest, the urge to click. Awareness dissolves reaction. Practice holding winning trades longer than you're comfortable with. Force yourself to sit in the unknown, to feel the discomfort of what if it reverses, and learn that you can survive it. Over time, your brain rewires. What once felt unbearable becomes tolerable. What once triggered panic becomes just another day at the office. And here's the paradox. Once you embrace uncertainty, you gain control. Not control over the market, but control over yourself. And that's the only control that matters. But we're not done yet. Because even if you embrace uncertainty and detach from outcomes, there's still another trap waiting: your inner dialogue. You know that voice, the one that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're going to fail. Look at you, you can't even stick to your plan." That voice is louder in day trading than almost anywhere else. And if you don't master it, it will sabotage you every time. This brings us to the next layer of day trading without losing your mind: mastering the stories you tell yourself. Because trading isn't just charts and numbers, it's the constant conversation inside your head. And if you don't take charge of that conversation, it will destroy you. So in the next section, we will unpack how to reprogram your inner dialogue, build mental resilience like the top traders, and silence that destructive voice once and for all. Because until you do, no method, system, or strategy will save you. Let's be honest, the market isn't always your biggest enemy. Sometimes the deadliest opponent is the voice in your own head. You know precisely what I'm talking about. That whisper that says, "Don't take this trade, you'll probably lose." Or the one that mocks you after a mistake. See? You're terrible at this. You'll never make it. Or maybe it's the pressure-filled voice saying, you have to win today. You can't afford another red day. Double your size, make it back. Sound familiar? That voice has destroyed more trading accounts than bad strategies ever have. Because once it grabs control, you no longer trade the market. You trade your insecurities. So here's the breakthrough. You can't silence that voice by force. You can't shout over it or pretend it isn't there. But you can reprogram it. You can turn it from your enemy into your ally. The first step is awareness. Most traders run on autopilot. They don't even notice the constant negative self-talk running in the background. But once you shine a light on it, everything changes. Try this. Write down every thought you hear the next time you're trading. Don't judge it, don't filter it, write it. You'll be shocked. Thoughts like, I can't miss this move. I knew I shouldn't have taken that trade. I'm such an idiot. When you see them on paper, you realize how toxic they are. And that's when you can begin step 2, reframing. Reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself. It doesn't mean pretending everything is positive. It means shifting the narrative into something useful. For example, instead of I'm such an idiot for losing, reframe to, that trade didn't follow my edge. My discipline is growing every time I spot it. Instead of I can't afford another loss, reframe to, losses are tuition. Each one trains me to be calmer and sharper. Instead of I'll never be consistent, reframe to, consistency comes from habits. Today is another rep in the gym. See the shift? Same situation, different story. And that difference decides whether you spiral or stay steady. But there's more because reframing alone won't stick unless you condition it. This is where affirmations get misunderstood. Most people think affirmations are about telling yourself you're rich, perfect, or invincible. That's nonsense. Affirmations must be believable. They must be grounded in process, not fantasy. A powerful affirmation for traders might sound like, I execute my edge without fear. Or, one trade means nothing. My discipline means everything. Or even, I am calm under pressure because I train to be calm every day. The key is repetition. You wire these phrases into your nervous system by speaking them daily, especially before the trading session begins. Over time, they replace the destructive inner dialogue with something empowering. But here's the real kicker. The most effective way to reprogram your inner voice is not through words alone. It's through evidence. Your brain believes what you consistently prove. That means you are teaching your inner voice to trust you every time you follow your plan, no matter the result. Every time you honor your stop loss, you show yourself that you're disciplined. Every time you walk away at your daily limit, you are proving you're in control. Slowly but surely, the voice shifts. Instead of, you can't do this, it starts saying, you've done this before. You can do it again. Now, let's zoom out for a moment. Why is this so important? Because trading isn't just about numbers, it's about identity. You'll behave that way if your inner dialogue tells you you're reckless, emotional, or undisciplined. Your actions follow if your inner dialogue tells you you're patient, resilient, and consistent. The market is a mirror. It reflects the identity you carry into it. That's why working on your inner dialogue isn't optional. It's survival. But let's push even deeper. Because there's another trap that even advanced traders fall into: perfectionism. Perfectionism in trading sounds like this. I must never break a rule again. I must execute flawlessly. I must control every trade. But perfectionism is fear disguised as discipline. The truth is, you will slip. You will make mistakes. You will sometimes listen to the wrong inner voice. And that's okay. The key isn't perfection, it's recovery. The traders who last are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who fall and reset instantly. They forgive themselves fast, return to the process quickly, and don't let one slip into a spiral. This is why your inner dialogue must include self-compassion. Yes, hold yourself accountable. But do it like a coach, not a critic. Imagine a great coach watching you make a mistake. Would they scream and say, "You're hopeless, give up"? No. They'd say, "Okay, you slipped. Learn from it. Get back in the game." That's how you must talk to yourself. So let me ask you, what's the story you tell yourself while you trade? Is it the story of a reckless gambler or the story of a disciplined professional in training? Because whichever one you repeat, that's the one you'll become. In the next section, we'll delve further into the habits and routines that lock all this in place, because mindset alone isn't enough. You need daily structures that keep you grounded, rituals that prevent emotional hijacks, and habits that make mental stability automatic. Without them, even the best inner dialogue collapses under pressure. If inner dialogue shapes your identity, habits lock that identity into reality. Think about it. No trader wakes up and says, "Today I'll boost my account. Today I'll sabotage myself." Yet it happens over and over again. Why? Because when the pressure hits, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our habits. And here's the brutal truth. Most traders have no real habits. They roll out of bed, open their laptop, glance at the charts, and then wonder why they're inconsistent. You wouldn't run a marathon without training. You wouldn't step into the ring against a heavyweight without preparation. But every day, traders walk into the market arena without any ritual, routine, or foundation to stabilize their minds. No wonder they crack. So, how do you build habits that protect your psychology? It starts before the market even opens. I call it the pre-market mindset routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler, the better. But it must be deliberate. Here are 3 pillars you can build right now. Physical reset. Do something that grounds your body before you sit down. It could be stretching, a short workout, a walk, or even deep breathing. Why? Because your body stores stress. If you sit down tight, jittery, or restless, that state bleeds into your trading. Physical reset clears it out. Mental check-in. Spend 5 minutes journaling before the open. Write down your emotional state. Are you tired? Excited? Nervous? Be honest. Why? Because when you name it, you tame it. Writing forces awareness, and awareness is your shield against impulsive trading. Rule review. Don't trust your memory. Write your rules where you can see them. Risk per trade, maximum daily loss, and setups. Read them out loud before you trade. This brings them to your brain and reminds you that you're here to execute a process, not chase dopamine. That's your morning armor. Without it, you're stepping into battle naked. But habits don't stop at the open. Once the market begins, you need in-session stabilizers. These are the habits that keep you calm while the chaos unfolds. Here are some of the most powerful. Trade logging in real time. After every trade, jot down what you saw, what you felt, and whether you followed your rules. This isn't busy work. It slows down your impulses. It forces a pause between trades, breaking the cycle of overtrading. Scheduled breaks. Set alarms to step away every hour or 2. Your brain is not designed for 5 straight hours of hyperfocus. You reset your nervous system by forcing breaks, giving yourself a second wind. Breath check. Every 30 minutes, stop and ask, "Am I breathing?" Most traders hold shallow breaths during high stress. Shallow breath equals tension. Deep breath equals calm. A single conscious breath can reset your state before it spirals. And then comes the most overlooked habit, the post-market shutdown ritual. This is where most traders fail. They close the platform, but the market doesn't leave their mind. They obsess all night, replaying every trade, carrying stress into tomorrow. That's how burnout happens. The shutdown ritual solves it. After the market closes, review your trades, not the P&L, but the discipline. Did you follow your plan? Write down one win, even if it's small. I respected my stop. I walked away at my limit. Acknowledge it. Then close the book. Physically close your journal, close your screens, and say to yourself, "The market is done. I am done." This tells your brain, today is complete. Recover mentally today, so you can return sharp tomorrow instead of drained. But let's address something critical here. Habits are only as strong as your environment. You can't build discipline in chaos. If your trading desk is cluttered, your notifications are pinging, and your environment screams distraction, your habits will collapse. Design your environment like a cockpit. Clear, focused, minimal. Every element should serve your trading, nothing more. This simple step can reduce overwhelm and boost mental clarity instantly. Now, here's the paradox. Many traders resist building habits because they think it will box them in. They crave freedom, spontaneity, and flexibility. But in trading, freedom without structure equals chaos. The only true freedom comes through discipline. The more structured your habits, the freer your mind is to focus on execution. That's why the greatest traders aren't free spirits chasing impulses. They are disciplined operators running routines. Their creativity doesn't disappear. It thrives because the foundation is stable. So let me ask you, what are your trading habits right now? Do you have a pre-market ritual? Do you have in-session stabilizers? Do you shut down properly? Or are you winging it every day, hoping today will be different? Because today, your results don't come from one big breakthrough. They come from the compound effect of tiny habits, repeated daily. And once you master your habits, something incredible happens. Your trading psychology becomes automatic. You no longer fight yourself on every decision. You no longer burn mental energy on basics. Your routines carry you. But we're not finished. Because even with powerful habits, you'll face moments where your emotions spike, where fear and greed hit so hard that your structure trembles. What do you do then? How do you stay calm in the storm? That's what we'll explore in the final section. The emergency tools, the psychological anchors, are proven methods you can use in real time to stop yourself from spiraling and protect your mind when it matters most. Even with the best habits, the strongest routines, and a solid inner dialogue, there will still be moments when the storm hits. Moments when your heart rate spikes, your palms sweat, and your brain screams at you to break every rule. This is where most traders snap. They throw discipline out the window. They abandon their plan. They double their size, move their stops, and undo weeks of progress in a matter of minutes. And here's the truth. Those moments will come. You cannot eliminate them, but you can prepare for them. You can install what I call emergency psychological anchors. You use these methods in real time, right at the edge of the cliff, to pull yourself back before you fall. The first anchor is pattern interruption. Your mind in panic runs on autopilot. You feel the urge, your hand moves toward the mouse, and before you even think, the order is in. To stop it, you must break the pattern. Physically, that could mean standing up from your desk, clapping your hands, and splashing cold water on your face. Anything that shocks your system out of autopilot and forces a pause. It sounds ridiculous, but it works. Because the moment you interrupt the loop, you create a gap, and discipline has a chance to return in that gap. The second anchor is the 3-breath reset. Your nervous system is wired to your breath. When you panic, your breath shortens. When you lengthen your breath, you calm your nervous system. So when you feel the spiral coming, stop. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly for 6. Do this 3 times. It takes less than a minute, but can save your entire day. Because once your physiology calms, your brain regains access to logic, and the emotional storm loses its grip. The third anchor is the rule card. Every trader should have one. A simple index card, right on your desk, with your absolute non-negotiables written on it. For example, never risk more than 1% on a trade. Walk away at max daily loss. Trade only setups A, B, and C. In the heat of emotion, your brain will lie to you. It will rationalize. It will say, just this once. But the truth is undeniable when you have the rule card in front of you. It's your contract with yourself. And when you force yourself to read it before taking action, it saves you from impulse. The fourth anchor is the future self-check. When you're about to break a rule, ask, what would my future self thank me for? Visualize yourself tomorrow morning, reviewing your trades. Would that version of you be grateful you stuck to your limits, or filled with regret that you ignored them? This mental time travel cuts through the fog of the moment and reconnects you to long-term identity. And finally, the fifth anchor, walk away wins. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is leave. Shut the screens. Step outside. The market will always be here tomorrow. But your mental capital? Once you drain it, it's gone. Protect it like gold. Walking away is not weakness, it's mastery. The traders who last for decades are not the ones who force every day. They are the ones who know when to stop. Now, let's tie this all together. We've covered how to install mental circuit breakers to prevent chaos. We've talked about embracing uncertainty instead of fighting it. We've learned to reprogram the inner dialogue that shapes your identity. We've built habits and routines that anchor discipline into your daily life. And we've armed you with emergency anchors when it all threatens to collapse. This is how you day trade without losing your mind. Not by eliminating stress. Not by finding some magical strategy. But by mastering yourself, your habits, emotions, dialogue, discipline. Because here's the truth. The market doesn't care if you win or lose. The market doesn't care about your feelings, fears, or hopes. But your mind, that's the battlefield. And if you win there, you can survive any storm the market throws at you. So the choice is yours. You can keep fighting the market, chasing setups, blowing up, and wondering why consistency never comes. Or you can turn inward. You can build the psychology, the resilience, and the structures that make consistency inevitable. And if this resonated with you, if you felt even one truth land deeply, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the Trading Psychology Lab, smash that like button, and share this video with another trader who needs it. Because trading psychology isn't just about profits, it's about peace of mind. It's about surviving long enough to thrive. This is where the market meets the mind. And once you master that, you don't just trade better. You live better.